So let me know when you're ready to record, and I'm just going to flow through it as though it's my normal show from top to bottom.
So for next time, if you're going to videotape it, my video guy's on vacation this week, but I mean, we have flat panel LCD, actual camera lights, so we could set one up here and
oh my God, okay.
really light you well too. So that's
okay.
I just don't know where any of this stuff is.
Yeah. No, this is kind of first go around. Right, so I appreciate it.
If you're going to do that from going forward,
yeah,
we
every
have
week,
kits here because we have video gear, so we can throw up a light so it's not as harsh.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right.
One quick question. So, do you want to get the phone set up now, or do you just want to do that during one of the breaks?
Well, we can do it during one of the breaks. Perfect. So let me know when you're ready to start, and we'll get going.
Nope,
hey, everybody. Hey, Anita. We're getting started. Bear with us. This is day one at the new studios located in Platypus Marketing. It's far, y'all. It is very far. We out in Milwaukee. Help us.
We are showing major love this
morning. You're showing major love this morning.
Major
oh,
love.
my God.
Here in Platypus, Wisconsin.
Andre said, listen, y'all. Andre said he packed a whole lunch.
I did a sandwich, some cherries.
Made it through everything.
I had some applesauce, a bottle of water. Ain't nothing in the bag but seeds and stings.
I love it. I love it. Elsie, you just let us know when you're ready to go, and I will begin the show.
Yeah.
We good? All right. What's up, Milwaukee and the world? Welcome to another episode of Saved in the City on WQYL-DB with your girl, Iberia. Yes, we are live and in living color and way out here in Milwaukee. And I got my sister, Dana World Patterson, with me, and my brother, Andre Lee Ellis, with me in the studio. Yes, we were, some of the Facebook Live audience got some of our conversation before we went live. For you guys on WQYL-DB, but it was a journey. It was a journey for love because they love me, and I appreciate it. But you guys that are listening live and the guys that are listening on the podcast, be sure to like me on Facebook at Saved in the City. Join my groups on Facebook to stay connected. Just search Saved in the City Radio Show. Follow me on Instagram at Saved in the City. Follow me on Twitter. I'm everywhere you want to be. Absolutely. So, and if you like what you're hearing, spread the word to your friends and family to tune in and to continue to share and keep me uplifted in prayer that I can really just walk out this vision the way it's meant to be. Shout out to Mima's Gourmet Delights, who also happens to be my mama. We were just talking about her and her cakes earlier today. If you got a sweet tooth, you definitely want to hit her up for your Southern style desserts. I'm talking anything you can think of. Caramel cakes, red velvet cakes, banana pudding, sweet potato pie, all the good stuff that we love. Just visit her website at www.mymimas.com. Again, that's www.mymimas.com, or give her a call at 414-418-0616. Shout out to Luminosity Enterprises for all of your marketing support. To my girls, Afeni Grace and Michaela Farmer, also that took the trek out to Milwaukee, holding it down. Michaela coming all the way from school. I appreciate her so much. And Afeni just hold me down from, she's really been my A1 since day one. So I really, really am appreciative of both of you young ladies. Shout out to my supporters of Saving the City. A lot of you have been watching, and you know that I have been in serious transition, just trying to figure all of this out. And sometimes prayers work, and all the time prayer works. But sometimes you need a little monetary support to keep going. So I just want to shout out to those people who supported me in this kind of transitional place to kind of get where I'm trying to go. Shout out to Lanice. I'm going to yell out their names real quick. Lanice McGee, Curtis Eubanks, Dana Perry, Lewis Pearson, Victoria Jackson, Violetta Joseph, Rhonda Hill, Patricia Hilliard, Wanda Austin, Jason Oliver, Kelly McClendon, Kelly Carter, Lauren Nicole, Tony Cash, Michelle Buchanan, Gillette Francis Wade, and each of you just for watching and sharing and being a part of the journey.
Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
Bless Bless them, God.
Bless them. You know, I said, look, $10, $5, whatever you can get, $1, it adds up, you know, wherever we need it. So I'm so appreciative of each and every one of you. You guys also know that the Saved in the City 1-year anniversary is coming up. So I need you guys to mark your calendars for September 30th. It's going down. Saved and the City Live. We're bringing back all of our old guests. We're bringing back the Milwaukee Treasures. That's both of y'all, actually. You're getting an award. I'm doing a whole award show. So I need to hurry up.
Mine be in the form of one of your mama cakes.
It can. And actually,
Mama Mia.
Mima's cake will be in the house on September 30th. So I'll definitely have more details coming up really, really soon. It's going to be held at World Outreach Center, which I'm so excited to be able to utilize that space. Guys, you know, I can go on and on. I'm just so excited to be here. For those people watching on Facebook, kind of forgive the lighting today. We'll definitely be working on that next week, you know, but we're in here and we're doing it. So without further ado, I'd love just to jump into the topic at hand, because we know, if you guys have followed me before, this hour flies by. So again, I'm sitting here with the one, the only Dana World Patterson and Andre Lee Ellis. Let's just start by some introductions, you know, for some people who may not know exactly who you are and what you do. Dana, why don't you start? Tell the folks what you do, why you're here, and what's kind of going on in your world.
I am excited to be here. Thank you so much.
On the journey.
Yes, and it was a beautiful journey.
Yeah.
Nice ride out.
It really is a nice ride. No
problem.
The winter might be a different story.
True. But it is a pleasure to be here and to share what I know so far about human trafficking and the journey that 9 years has been. Mm-hmm. It's been amazing. Yeah. It's been full of tears. It's been full of joy, but every day I'm waking up with wind beneath my wings for one less person becoming a victim. And I know that Andre and I will also talk about our summer campaign.
Yeah, right.
Men for Men in the Demand, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But the men are stepping up and saying, we want to be a part of the conversation and the solution.
I love it. So
I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Andre Lee Ellis. I am the founder, executive director of We Got This, but today's capacity is overjoyed to be working with Ms. Dana World Patterson and Foundations for Freedom as the chairman for the Men.
Here, the fact that you guys are out in the streets, hitting the pavement, you know, and that's the way I was playing around earlier. He wouldn't move. I was calling him Dr. Ellis. He was like, I'm not moving with no fake titles.
I don't say that on the radio, and she done went and said it. Dr. Ellis, Dr. Peanut is in training.
He said Dr. Peanut is in training, yes, but you know, I love it because, you know, it's beyond, who cares about the titles? What are you doing? You know, let's talk about the work. So, you know, Dana, you started by talking a little bit about human trafficking. And really today's platform and what we're dealing with there are Milwaukee Matters. Yes. So all of the issues, all of the things that are going on right here in our city, and human trafficking is huge. Unfortunately, we're still like top, and I think you have some of the statistics, if you can offer that to some of the listeners of kind of what, you know, where Milwaukee stands when it comes to human trafficking.
Milwaukee is considered the Harvard of pimp school.
Wow.
And we know that many of us would love to go to Harvard because that's like the creme de la creme for education around the world. And with Milwaukee being considered the Harvard of pimp school, that means that we really have a lot of work to do in our city to change that narrative. And that's why I'm loving every day getting up with wind beneath my wings to do something. And it's not just me. There are others that are very excited about the work that needs to be done in strengthening women and girls and men and boys. So we're doing that. Wisconsin is also considered a hub for human trafficking. Former Attorney General J.B. Van Hollen said that human trafficking is occurring in all 72 counties. And when Martha Love and I started out 9 years ago, we knew that the narrative had to be more broad than inner city black girl with no father, probably eating flour and water, and that she's the one that you need to be paying attention to for those who are human trafficked. And when you consider human trafficking, you must keep in mind that force, fraud, and coercion is a part of the conversation. Force, fraud,
and
coercion.
Okay.
13 being the average age that girls are trafficked in the United States. And along the way, within these 9 years, the age has become even lower.
Wow.
Yes.
And I think that's the part that I have the issue with. I have the issue with any person in general being abused or taken advantage of. But it's like in my brain, and maybe it's not meant for me to understand the mind of a pedophile. But what is it about a baby that you would want to take advantage of, hurt, and exploit? I don't get that.
It does lie in the mind of a pedophile. It lies in the mind of a rapist. It lies in the mind of a perpetrator. And that's part of the journey. I think we need to understand that. So the doors are opening for us to have a greater understanding with traffickers as well as quote, air quotes, Johns.
Yeah.
We have to not be ashamed to talk about sex, to talk about disrespectful sex, to talk about domestic violence. If you're in the barbershop or you're with a group of men, they might start talking about pimping and hoeing. Yeah. And it's going to be more glorified.
Wow.
It's going to be ashamed. It's going to be when even in dates, the men and sometimes talk to the woman as if she's some lady on the street, calling her by the letter B or the letter H word, things like that. So we have to not be afraid to have a conversation, and people aren't having it. Before now, I wasn't having it. And I sit in the barbershop all the time and hear what men talk about, and we glorify treating women bad.
Wow. Why? Why? Do we know why? Or,
Not men talking about going to get their daughters from bad situations. How often do you hear men talking about that?
But I think does that go to another issue though, because there are a lot of men that aren't in the home, so they're not going to get the daughter.
Barbershops.
Yeah.
Where the barbers
cool.
being the psychotherapist, the barbers being the psychologist, and where men talk about it. Let's go to a place where the conversations are already happening, and if men who read the pledge, agree with the pledge, sign the pledge, are in place to then guide the conversation in a way that says this isn't normal, even though it has been normalized. It's not normal. If we can change the conversation and guide it more towards the eradication of sexual exploitation instead of treating it as something that it's okay that our daughters are being considered hoes. Let's not continue that conversation because or wait for it to be our daughter. Wait for it to be our niece. Wait for it to be our cousin.
It hits home when it's few.
But it's so brutal too, though, because let's talk about this. Who can sleep at night if you even have the thought of not knowing where your daughter or son is, but they're in a dog cage, anybody from anywhere is coming in and having their way with them. All they got to do is pay a fee to the person that's holding them hostage. It just happened here with a young man, 19 years old, who had his grandmother's house, and he was keeping a woman in the basement, and we still let it slide right on by. We should have been protesting. We should have been. We should have been.
Where's the outrage?
Should have been outraged.
We should be outraged and so much more, but we'll be fast to argue on this Facebook Live,
right,
about some crap when we need to be finding our kids, our daughters, and the men got to come out.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know what? Let's take a quick break, and then this is serious stuff. This is real stuff. Yes, and we'll be yes. And but what I want this is 24. How about that? Yeah. Unfortunately, there's no real breaks when this situation is going on. Oh my God, it's so real. But we're gonna come right back after this. So you guys keep it locked live right here to Saved and the City on WQYL-DB. Let's go to that first song. Whoa,
Air.
that's good stuff. Air. And I don't know. I know it sounds silly, Michaela, but let's try that flashlight. Hopefully, it will not blind me. That's good stuff, guys.
It's unfortunate, but
Horrible stuff.
think with you.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all flowing, y'all. This is awesome. That's why.
I won't tolerate.
Let's try
Did I do
low
that?
to get my life,
I
and
did
then
say
Doggone it. No.
okay, try
I did.
medium.
No, you didn't.
I did. I said, and I won't
Right.
tolerate it.
Okay.
Hi.
Didn't I, Iberia?
Yes, you said it.
On Facebook
That's not
Live is
working.
on.
It's
right?
still live.
Hey y'all,
Hey, y'all.
Iberia working and doing some stuff. So here's a little FYI. We here. We made it. It's a long way, but if you gotta come out here, put some lettuce and tomatoes on
Look
the
at
turkey
y'all, I'm
sandwich.
trying.
Cause I didn't. She needs to get that trolley to run over here that fix it up.
It's so far out here, y'all.
That big car.
This light is not gonna work.
It's good.
I need some light.
Hot
Can we get
chocolate
one
and
light?
gas in the wintertime.
Because they love you, they're coming.
Yeah,
Hot
they come.
chocolate and gas in the wintertime. I'm here because I love you.
I know, I appreciate it. We're gonna figure something out for the winter though.
I'll go around the world for you.
I can't call you Dr. Evans. I'm just feel it. I'm just messing with you though, Andre. I appreciate you and everything that you
Call
do
me
right
hamburger
here.
sandwich.
Come on, hamburger sandwich. Well, that's just random. But I'm here for it. What's up, y'all? I know y'all can't really see me. I'm gonna get close up to the thing in a minute. This music, can y'all hear this in the background? That's Mario Brown, the Mario Brown, featuring Sarita Campbell, talking about church ain't church no more. And honestly, he's been under quite the, it's a bit real serious. It's controversial, but it's real. It's real out here. You know,
My
so
church is church,
My
too.
church is really church.
Yeah.
I can't even
really
see.
church.
Yeah, my church is really church.
It's really church. I don't
But there's
know
a
what-
lot of churches that
And guess what?
ain't church
We
no
are
more.
the church.
Yeah, how about that? And that's
hello,
why,
we
you
are
know?
the church. So when you go, are you the church going? So
And ain't nothing what it used to be. Ain't nothing what it used to be. We don't have the Ma and Pa grocery stores no more either.
That's
The Arabs
true.
got those.
That's
So
true.
we're gonna get on the church. We always on the church. I get so upset with everything. The whole world going bad, especially the black community. We
Yeah.
want to bring it
Yeah.
to the church. I don't want to get that conversation going today
Yeah.
because
That's
that's
something
another
else.
one.
That's
That's
something
next
else.
week. Ain't
That's
it?
next week.
Yeah, so get ready, y'all. Next week, Mario Brown and Sarita
Wait
Campbell.
a minute.
right.
What time is it though, Penny? 19, okay. It's still real catchy though, even if the church is church.
No, but let's not waste our time with that one.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
No. Our words are powerful.
This is very true.
They're vessels. Let's speak truth.
Amen.
Speak life.
Right.
Amen, amen. I can't see y'all this far. Don't worry, I'm gonna wear my
Mario's
glasses.
my nephew. He knows I love him. Yes.
And Mario is one of my good friends. Mario, you're supposed to call me too.
Ooh, so y'all come get on live next week and comment while we're talking about.
I already told him he launched on his birthday. I was like, you know I love you. Dude, this one made me cry, but this ain't real.
We got 10 seconds, y'all. And we are back live. You are locked into WQYL-DB with your girl Iberia. This is Saved and the City each and every Wednesday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. And possibly Fridays, we will see, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. It's going down. And we are talking about so much. Really, Milwaukee matters, and we've been delving in specifically to human trafficking. And, you know, I decided I wanted to go to a quick break, and Andre and Dana said there are no breaks, you know, and it's a real thing, you know, because we're taking a break to listen to some music, but when we got off air, we were talking about young women being locked in cages. They don't get a break, you know, so really, you know, we're just trying to figure out what are the next steps. How do we, you know, because we're talking about what's going on, but how do we become a part of the solution? You talked about speaking life and speaking those words, but then there's also action. So what are some steps that we can begin to take to help the cause and what you guys are doing?
I think talking is first.
Yeah.
I think communication, because a lot of people didn't even know what human trafficking is. A lot of people don't know the difference between human trafficking and human sex trafficking.
That's good.
When you say human trafficking, they always think just sex trafficking, but it's a lot more complicated than that. So I think starting conversations, because if we start in the barbershop, then women will speak in the beauty shops, and then nurses and doctors will talk at the hospitals, and then social service agencies will have to listen, and then households will have to engage in the matters, and then communities will become more observant and looking out for it. And when we see it and know that it's there, it tries to hide and go away.
Yeah, you know, go ahead. I was just going to say, you said that in the beginning, the human trafficking and sex trafficking is different.
Well,
Transparent moment, I didn't know.
there are you have sex trafficking and labor trafficking.
Okay.
So that's the two.
Okay.
Force, fraud, and coercion are a part of both. But when you consider labor, you think about people coming over and having to work on the farms.
Yeah. Okay.
People that make rugs, our clothing. You know, where they're forced to do it. They're not getting the proper care that they need. Their passports are taken away, or those who have come over here illegally. You know, and then they're put into unsavory conditions, and usually sex is involved in that as well. Labor trafficking is there are more people involved than those who are involved in sex trafficking.
Wow.
And sex trafficking involves about 27 million women and girls around the world.
Wow.
Wow.
There's a lot going on.
Wow.
So then you consider the aspect of labor. But when you consider a farm, all that it will take to run a farm, or these mills that are making rugs and, like I said, our clothing, our food, things like that. There's a lot of things that are illegal that are going on. The splitting of the hair is prostitution and human sex trafficking.
Gotcha.
Many have felt that those who are prostituted are there because of their own volition. And I would say that many of us have walked around and looked at a person a certain way and had our judgments because we felt that they were there of their own volition, that they wanted
that hole over there.
Right, they wanted to be there.
Dot.
But many have started from a place of force, fraud, or coercion, and they've kind of aged out. And now, and we've heard many women say that because that was all they knew, they were taken at 13, 14, 15 because of the brainwashing that has occurred, that you're only a prostitute, that you're only a hoe, pardon my vernacular, that you're only a this, that you're only a that. And because of that brainwashing, when they do have the opportunity to not be in that situation, thank God, but their mind still has to be washed.
Yeah.
So that they don't see themselves that way. And many, after they are from under the thumb of a pimp, a trafficker, they still do it again.
Right, wow.
And I want men to know this here, that young lady, that young man that you're picking up on the streets in the middle of the night may not be there by their own choice. They may be there because they're a part of trafficking and they have to be there. Here's the other thing, the unhealthy practices. Because medically, it's such in the dark and in the closet kind of thing, those people that are having sex and going into these situations, you're taking those diseases and things back to your houses and to your community. Who's going to the doctor after they've been naughty like that? So just think about it. Not only are you nasty, but you're infected and you're passing out through the community. Your wife that has been good to you, that loves God and go to church for whatever reason, she ain't out there doing what you do, but you coming home and playing it off and you're infecting her. And so we got to do away with that. Sorry, you said keep it real.
Oh, absolutely. This is exactly where I like to go.
That's very true.
So my next question then is, for some people that are a part of the human trafficking movement, that for lack of a better phrase, they're more aware of some of the statistics and kind of what goes on. But where are some of I think at one point it was Lisbon Street is where a lot of the women are being picked up. But where else are some of these, I guess, sites?
Tracks or hot spots?
Yeah, tracks. Okay, that's what they call it.
That's important to know, but it's important to know where the tracks are. But it's more important to be mindful that human trafficking has no borders. It's all over. And if we keep it plugged into one particular area, then those who are in Brookfield will say that it doesn't happen to them. Those who are in Mequon won't be as concerned. Riverside, Glendale. We can talk about the tracks all day long, but we really need to be aware that this is happening in all communities. It's hidden in plain sight. Now, for those that are walking Lisbon, that are walking on Greenfield, that are walking on National, we used to see it on King when it was 3rd Street, when it was out in the open. But now it's called incoming, where you call a cell phone because you like what you see on Backpage, or you like what you see in other places, and many people don't have the opportunity to be on the street because of the incoming calls, and they receive a call and then they go and take care of it in that way. It's hidden in plain sight.
Wow.
And Dana, and a lot of people are answering casting calls, which are situations where people are being set up falsely for, like they'll put up that this is a model call or something like that.
Definitely want to
And
talk about that.
it's a fake setup for
That's good.
trafficking. You know, you're gonna go from this location, you're gonna get in the van, and we're gonna take you somewhere else, and next thing you know, you don't see anybody, your family, or anyone anymore. So we have to be careful of the cunning ways. Talk to your children.
Yes.
Talk to your daughters and things like that. Pay attention. Your electronics cannot raise your children. Otherwise, electronics can take your children away from you. So you got to pay attention to who they're calling, who they're talking to, where they're going, how they're getting there. I just recently had a friend, and her daughter, she said she had a dream that her daughter was being raped by someone in the community. And when she checked with her daughter, there was someone that had been watching her, and there was a man that tried to rape her daughter, but because she paid attention the next day, she saw it. I'm sort of paraphrasing what happened, but we gotta really, really not be afraid and make the call. Call the police. Call somebody when you see something strange happening. Do not be afraid, because she's somebody's sister, she's somebody's baby, she's somebody's daughter. You know, so when you talk to her like you want somebody to talk to your mom.
Yeah, that's right. And
As
we
India
always say, I know, I hear you jamming over there.
I already knew it.
But we always say, if you see something, say something, do something.
Do something.
This is not the time to be silent.
Yeah.
When your hairs kind of come up on the back of your neck, pay attention to that. You have that ill feeling, that's there for a reason. You're being led and guided in a way to do something. So it's important to, and this isn't sensationalism. I mean, we know of individuals that have been chained in closets and told the only way you're going to get out of here is to jump, or being pushed around, knocked around, poles up against their head. This isn't sensational. This is happening every day. And something else for us to pay attention to. I was speaking to Milwaukee police officer, and he said, you know, every shift, every day, someone goes missing. Every shift, every day.
Every shift, every day.
Every shift, every day, someone goes missing. And then in how it intersects with our world, we know within 48 hours, 72 hours, if the person that is missing hasn't been returned, they have likely made an intersection with human trafficking.
Wow. You guys, this is heavy stuff, but this is real stuff, and it's happening right here in our city. So we can't close our eyes to it. We can't close our ears to it. We got to hear what's happening. As Andre said earlier, it starts with the discussion. It starts with talking about it and hearing it and knowing that it's real, and then finding ways that you can plug in and, like you said, see something, say something, all of that. Do something. I love that. At the end, there's your action, your call to action. Do something. So what we're going to do, we're going to take another break. And then we're going to come back with our church announcements, and then also we're going to talk to someone in the community who is doing something. And his name is Ajamu.
But
Say something, do something. Do something.
I had sex in the city. It's sex and the city.
Saved.
I mean, right.
Baby.
Right. That's what I meant.
Yeah, saved
I was
and
going to say, I
saved.
had sex in the city too.
I'm not married yet.
I don't like it in the country.
Saved and you prefer it in the city?
Yeah, me and my wife, chemistry
Well,
is
someone
off in
has
the
in the
country.
city,
Yeah.
so that's the only reason why. Thing. I love this. This is O.C. Jackson.
Oh,
That's my
okay.
girl.
I don't know. That's OC for sure right there.
Yes.
Random.